This is going to be a demo on how to make a tree. I'm making a tree for my little game, and I'll be using speedtree modeler for Unity. We're just gonna rehash the game a little bit if you've been watching the last few videos. Redo the terrain and expand, and I'm starting to build a tree library, and I'm just gonna do a custom tree. So I'm gonna open speedtree modeler here for Unity and log into my account. Okay, so first thing we got to do is do a new file. When you start with this, over in this corner here, you can see where my mouse is. We have a tree, and we want to right click and add some geometry. In this thing, I'm going to add a trunk. For a game engine, you usually use low poly, so I'm just going to add a low poly trunk. There's my character. There's how high my tree is. So I'm going to start here and go to over in this section here to this spine section. You have to excuse me. And I'm just going to give it a bit of disturbance. Move it out a bit. Okay, so that part's done. Now I'm going to add my first set of branches. Again, standard low poly. There we go. Just want to sort of... Okay, so I got my level 1 and level 2 branches. Level 2 are the tips. Level 1 are the spines here. I'm just going to go to the branch over here. Move the length down a bit. Level 1. Move the length down. Optimization a little higher. Okay. That looks good. Sort of what I want. Okay, now I'm going to add a texture. So to add a texture, I'm going to go to the tree, go up to this menu here. Oh, I want the directory menu, and I'm going to add a texture. So I have a little bit of a library from the software that I bought, so I'm going to find my library folder. It's in the tree library. I'm going to go to broadleaves and do a maple and look for some bark. So there's my bark. I'm going to open the bark. So there's my bark. It has a little bit of moss on it and stuff. So I'm going to grab my bark. There we go. So now, some bark on my tree. Just going to give you an overview of that. Now what I got to do is add some leaves. So I don't really like that this level 2 stuff is just change the length a bit, lower it a bit. They're kind of sticking out weird. Okay. Bending is okay. So that's okay, yeah. Might just make them a little bit bigger. Okay, that looks good. Now, I want to add some leaves, and I'm going to add camera facing to begin with, and always standard. So there's my standard leaves. In the middle there's a spot, but we're going to deal with that in a minute. So now I got my standard leaves. I'm going to go and add some leaves and do fall. There's my leaves. I'm just going to add my leaves in here and sort of randomize them a bit until I find what I like. Okay. So that's good. Okay, so I got some, and you can see over here a poly count, and that just means how much resources it's going to take in my game. So I want to keep that fairly low. You can also see that these ends, if I zoom in, are still blank. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to load another texture. Should be up here. I'm going to look for some caps. So I'm going to go back to my sample directory. So, oh, that's just a bunch of textures. So, you look for a cap here. There's a cap. Turn my view on a bit. Cap. I'll try this one. Oh, that's a frond. That's not what I want. So I'm just going to remove that. Okay. Just go to cap. Okay. And I'm just going to add the cap. And check this cap out here at the top. I got it all capped, so that's not right. Let's edit, undo, and zoom in a little bit. Okay, there. So all the ends of the branches should be done. And capped off. Now I can zoom out. Check that cap. Yeah, that cap's done. Cap's done. So good. So now what I want to do is add some geometry to the leaves. I'm going to add some leaves in the middle first. So I just select the spine, and I'm going to go back to adding some leaves. I'm going to do camera facing again, standard. Just add it along here. I already got the leaves I want, so here's the leaves I want. Just going to add them in here. Randomize them a bit. That's better. Change the roll a little bit. I'm going to change the roll on these ones too. And the spread. Okay. Okay. And now for this section here, I want to add a mesh. So add a mesh. I'm going to go into my library again. Tree library. Broadleaves. See if I can find a mesh. Big leaf maple is what I want. Get the mesh. And now I have a little bit of a mesh where they're a little droopy. So now, pretty much gonna save this file. I'll just add a little bit of roots. You can see there's a root. System. Add a little bit of textures to that. Get out of meshes, go to materials, add a texture. Okay, so there's my roots. Okay, so now I'm going to enable the wind. Go to the wind wizard. Conditions breezy. Leaves. Large floppy leaves. Okay. And that's my tree. I'm gonna change the wind. Set conditions to calm and breezy. So it's going to lower my wind value. There's a lot of other things I can do as far as shadowing and lighting and stuff like that. But this is just my first little maple, and that ends. I don't like my videos to go over 10 minutes, so We're at 15, so I'm going to let it go. Have a great day. Goodbye.